we've got to talk about it. Editing your photos. How many of you edit your photos? All right, almost all of you. What's your favorite edit? What do you typically do?
Crop.
Crop? Okay. So do you crop stuff out that you didn't want there in the first place, or crop a different orientation?
Both.
Both? Okay. What about you?
Always bumping up the exposure.
Bumping up the exposure. Yeah, so brightening it a little bit. Okay. Anyone else?
I like either color pops or taking it black and white.
Okay, so color pops, so we increase the saturation a little bit, or taking the color out entirely. So I like to edit most of my photos. I don't want to take a lot of time though. I don't have time for that. So I want to stick to really quick process, make it easy. And this is for all of my photos, whatever camera I might take them with. So here's just an example of a cup of coffee. And, you know, it's kind of interesting, kind of. You know, there's story there, and we could leave it like this, and it would be fine. It would still help me remember the moment, help me remember this particular cup of coffee that I didn't even drink. I just wanted to try to create clouds in it. That's all I was doing. I wanted a photo that corresponded with clouds in my coffee. That was it. But it didn't really achieve what I was looking for. And you know, you go online and you see everyone's photos and you're like, well, why did they get it? How did they get it? So then I just took it into editing software, and now I have clouds in my coffee. Which is what I wanted to do. So I did some of the very things that you said. I cropped it, I changed the exposure a little bit, I gave it a little pop of color, and I did it with 6 steps. And these are the same 6 steps I use with almost every photo that I take. So I adjust the white balance, and if you look at the top to the bottom, you'll notice that I warmed it up. I added a little bit more yellow to it. Then I adjusted the exposure so that I opened up the shadows a little bit, brightened it a little bit. Then I adjusted the shadows some more. And then I increased the clarity. And the clarity provides a more defined edge. So you want to be really careful that you don't increase the clarity too much. And you can do this in many, many programs. I'll share a list, and the clarity is really the same across programs. They use the same term. And then I cropped it to get a little bit tighter crop, and then I added a slight vignette, just that little bit of black shadow around the edge. And that's it. It took me less than 5 minutes to change it to a photo that I really then loved and achieved my clouds in my coffee goal. So for editing, you've got a few options. I like, on the computer side, to use Lightroom. That's my go-to. Photoshop Elements, you can do all of those 6 things that we listed. GIMP is an online editing option, as is PicMonkey and Photoshop Express Editor. And so those are online, and I believe GIMP and PicMonkey are free, so that's always a nice option. And then for phones, Afterlight is my absolute go-to app for editing my phone photos. And all of those 6 steps, again, they're called the same thing. You can go through the same steps in Afterlight. Camera Plus is more robust than Afterlight, and you can do those same things again, plus a lot more. Big Lens we mentioned for blurring the background. And then PicTapGo is a really popular app to take the photo, edit it, be able to save your edits as a recipe, and then post it or save it. And then ProCam, if you really are kind of app addicted and want to go all the way and have your phone work most like a DSLR, ProCam will give you that, give you lots of fun features. And so there are lots of things that you can do just to change the look. So going from something that's just as I see it to something that is a little bit more aged, a little bit more artistic, and again, just a personal preference, just whatever you like to do. I think it's kind of a fun thing to be able to change it up some.